Today, I just want to speak to you about why a careerist husband will be a terrible husband. And by this, I do not mean that he's a terrible man or he's a bad man. I'm just saying that he's going to be a very bad husband because what a husband is supposed to do is that he's supposed to bring joy to his wife. That's the first thing. You see, so a husband's main priority should be to make his wife happy. That's the why he started the relationship. I think that when you start a relationship with a woman, you make an offer. And making an offer is not like you put something on the table and you say, look at that, would you like to be my wife? No. What you do is that you make the woman get to know you, what kind of man that you are. And then if the woman like, the kind of man that you are, then she's most likely to say yes when you propose marriage. And the reason why a careerist husband may be able to impress a woman at the beginning is because he's gonna make time, to be with the woman. He's gonna make time to impress the woman. You see, so he's gonna even, shelve some things that he wants to do at work to impress the woman. The problem is that once he has her, in terms of her being his wife, he's gonna go back now to what his main focus is, his main priority is, which is a career. You see, the reason why you have a lot of men who are very successful in terms of building companies, building empires, building conglomerates, yet most of them or some of them end up having a divorce is because that's exactly what they are. They are careerists. Their main objective in life is to achieve in their career is to be the greatest, the greatest basketball player or football player or scientist or whatever. But their main aim in their life is to make it in their career. You can have a man, working hard like 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, because he wants to be the first man to land on Mars. But he has two divorces on his name. And because this man is successful and people look at what he has done and they celebrate that, wow, this man is a genius. So by this, careerists will always show that when they focus on something, they are always successful at it. Meaning that because they put most of their energy at work, they put most of their energy, most of their talent, their gifts, they spend it in trying to achieve their goals and trying to achieve their priorities. They always become successful, and because they work hard and they dedicate so much of their of themselves to their career, they always end up becoming rich. But there's one drawback. The drawback is that if you're gonna spend 18 hours of the day at work, or 16 hours, or 14 hours, or 12 hours, and 7 days of your, 7 days of the week, of your energy, of your strength, of your talents at work or on a career or on something, what time do you spend with your wife? Because the misconception is that, as soon as you get the money, all you have to do is just have, buy your wife a Ferrari or buy her a private jet and then give her an unlimited card for, fuel. And then she can go to Sydney, to Melbourne, to New York, to LA, to Paris, to Milan, and then she'll be happy. All these material things, of course, she's gonna enjoy, but that is not gonna make her happy. This is why at the end you have, women who divorce, multimillionaires, and then people are asking themselves, but why would she do that? I mean, this man can just literally give her what she wants. Well, at the beginning of the relationship, even the most impoverished person will think that, if I get a car and I get all this money, this marriage is gonna work. But eventually, she's gonna have all this money. She's gonna have all these clothes. This clothes, which if she goes to Milan, go to buy a new Versace, dress, which is very beautiful, but the man never even gets to see. And when she calls the man, just to speak to him, the first thing that the man asks her is that, what do you want? What can I buy you? Where do you want to go? So it's almost like the man doesn't even care that this woman may require his presence, his body, his warmth, his focus, his attention. He's just thinking that, well, she's a woman, so because most men just think that all women are gold diggers, all they really want is money. Yes, at the beginning, a woman might be a gold digger or might be attracted by your money, but as soon as she's gonna have all this money that you can give her, she's gonna want you. You see, so that's the dilemma about women who love money, is that at the end, all this money is not gonna come for anything. Because if you're gonna require a man who's rich, if you're gonna require a warm body, the best thing that you can end up doing is cheating on the man. And the worst thing is that you may not even cheat on a rich multimillionaire with a rich multimillionaire, because most multimillionaires will be busy working. So you're gonna cheat on him with, cheat on him with just an ordinary man who's gonna be there, pay attention, pay compliments, and look at what you're wearing and compliment you on what you wear. So at the end, a careerist, a man whose main focus, main priority is to be successful at his career, will be able to give his wife all these material things and all this money that most women can only dream of. But he's not gonna be there to see her spend the money or to see her how she spend the money. Because the thing is that most careerists don't even care. Most careerists don't even care because he's making a bucket loads of money, truckloads of money. So he doesn't even care what the wife does with it. He gives her an unlimited credit card, and then she can go wherever she wants. At the drop of a hat. She doesn't even have to tell him where she's going, because the man doesn't really care because he spends most of the time at work. You see, so but is that what really life is all about? To accumulate all these things and not even have time to spend it. This is not to say that the wife might complain. The wife, maybe that's exactly what she wants, because people marry for different reasons. Obviously, if you're gonna marry a multimillionaire who's always away on business and has to fly to different cities across the world, you may have that understanding. But the thing is that, if you have children, children must learn things from their parents. And mostly they must learn things from their father, because it is the man who starts the family. And because it's the man who started a family, that means a man must have, some kind of doctrine which he wants to instill onto his children. But the problem is that if a man is always busy, spend like over 12 hours of the day working, probably in a month spend 3 weeks working 7 days consecutively, he will never have any chance of instilling anything on his children. He will never have any chance of instilling anything on his children because he doesn't have any time. And because he has made a commitment. You have to remember that in life, everyone makes a decision in terms of what kind of life they're going to live. And can say that I want to be the richest man in the world. And to be the richest man in the world may require a lot of work to be put in. And in the work that he's going to have to put in, he's going to have to make a lot of sacrifices in terms of, sacrificing time with his wife and with his kids. You see, and then the truth about marriage is that in truth, marriage is about, what the wife and the husband do together. Because at the end, if the wife and the husband don't do anything together, they just end up becoming like roommates. you know but because maybe the wife may enjoy the fruits of the labor of her husband in terms of the money that is coming in terms of the lifestyle that she has, she may not complain, you see. But the truth is that he's a terrible husband because there's nothing that he's teaching on his children. There's nothing that he's putting in the soul of his wife or in the heart of his wife, because all he does is that he comes home, take a shower or a bath, goes to work. You see, he doesn't even care if the money that he's giving to his wife is well spent. And well spent, I'm not saying that obviously when you filthy rich, you don't care about what he's doing. What I'm saying that well spent is that you just want to see whether your wife is spending, is buying things which are valuable, things which add value, not just material things. You understand? So if the wife, of course, married, the husband for the money with the understanding that the husband is rich and the husband is a careerist, she's not gonna complain. She's not gonna have any problem then. In fact, probably that's what she wants, because she wants the husband to be away so that she could do what you want. What she wants, maybe traveling, different cities in the world, traveling the biggest malls in the world and buying the most expensive clothes or the most expensive watches or perfumes and all that. But in terms of showing the standard of what a husband is, this man is terrible. It does not matter how much money he has made. He's a terrible husband. You see, but it has come, to prove that indeed that this man is a terrible husband, because when a man spends that much time at work and doesn't spend any amount of time with his wife, and then most of these marriages just end in divorce. And sometimes men who become that busy is that because they're always gonna say, I'm gonna work so hard during the year, and at the end of the year, I'm gonna make sure that I take my wife out to some exotic island and 7-star hotels and all that. But the problem is that men like that will always have a laptop next to them or a cell phone where they could always be contacted. So it's almost like he's on a holiday, but it's not on a holiday because his mind is still has to worry about what is going on at work. That's what a careerist is. No matter what they do, even when they're at home, they're worried about what is happening at work or what is supposed to happen at work. And because they do that, at the end of the day, it's always about work. It's never, I mean, even time for themselves. I mean, careerists don't even have time for themselves, in which they have to re-energize themselves, in which they can just spend time in which they forget completely about work and focusing on re-energizing their own body. It's like they've enslaved themselves into the making of money, and they don't care about anything else except advancing in terms of making money and advancing in terms of having this glory of being a great scientist or a great doctor or a great whatever, in which their name is great in the industry that they're in, but their name is not that great in the house of their wives or in the house of their children. But because people, when they look from the outside into within, we think that because the man is rich, he has a Rolls Royce, he has a private jet, or whatever, we think that, wow, this man has it. That's not how life is supposed to be lived, because you can't always be working all the time. When do you get time to be happy? You just do nothing and relax and just breathe in into this atmosphere, into this creation, into this garden. Just smell a flower, just smell the air, somewhere where the air is fresh. But men who are careerists don't even think about these kind of things. And because they don't think about these kind of things, their husbandhood, their standard of being a husband is terrible. Because you cannot just say, because I'm giving money and putting money, in the pocket or the purse of my wife, then I've done well. No, you have to be there. You as a man has to be there for your wife, to support her. And the support does not mean financial support. Emotional support is also important. To be there, to pay attention, to look at what she needs, what her anxieties are. Because just because you have security in terms of financial security doesn't mean that you may not have security. Women go through a lot of things that money does not cannot help. Because women, it's almost like they're different species to men. Because a woman, she can be rich, but she can have a problem that maybe she's having cellulite, and this could be a problem to her. And she may suffer emotional stress because she thinks, oh, I'm having cellulite and all that, and she becomes stressed. And if you're not there, she doesn't have anyone to speak to. And who's the best person that a wife can speak to, accept her own husband? And then because sometimes you spend a lot of time at work, or you spend a lot of time trying to make money, trying to be successful, trying to be the very top or the very best at what you do in terms of the industry. If you're a doctor, you want to be the best doctor of all time. Sometimes the woman may feel rejected because, remember, she may feel personally rejected in terms of maybe because you don't have time to please her. You don't have time to make her laugh or to listen to what she thinks, to listen to her opinion about things. She may feel like maybe you're rejecting her. That's why you're preferring to be at work than to be with her. But she may not tell you that. She may try to make some things in order trying to give you a sign and say, look at what I'm wearing. But because you focus and you worry too much about work, you say, yeah, it's fine, it's good. You look nice. Wow, you look great. And then you after that, those few words that you have commented about the way she looks, you go back to thinking about work. And as she goes into the room or wherever, thinking that she's rejected, and as she thinks that maybe she's not as important as she's supposed to be in your life. Work is more important. Obviously, any adult will be able to say that you prioritize work over everything else, meaning that you don't even care about this money that you're giving her in terms of going to buy stuff for herself. She can buy a dress or earrings or whatever, but you are not even there to see how she looks and to compliment and to say, well, the color, does not work well with her hair and all that. Something that people who are in a relationship should be able to do, to say that well, I don't think that this beard of yours suits you. You must get a shave. This is not a form of criticism. This is just to say that since I'm your wife, I'm paying attention to you, and I think that this kind of look does not suit you. There's the things that you will do when you are in a relationship with a person, because you're paying attention. You're always observing what is going on in their life, physically, emotionally, and otherwise. And because as the relationship goes, as the marriage becomes older, 5 years, 10 years, and a woman can realize that she has spent the past 5, 10 years, 10 years of her life just spending money and traveling the world. Because as she gets older, this traveling and spending money lose value. Remember, the older you get, material things lose value because the body itself just disintegrates. It means that even physical appearance loses value for a woman. The value that now that she's looking for is the value that she adds in terms of her personality in people. So now she wants to be valued for the things that she does for you as a husband. She doesn't really care about what she looks like. Her confidence is no longer her physical appearance. Her confidence comes from the things that she does for the people that she loves. But the problem is that you are never there for her to do anything for you, so that she can see the kind of value that she adds to you as a husband. And because of that, she may say that, well, since she's no longer valued, she may as well just get out of the marriage. This is how you can have very successful man, very rich man, very highly regarded man in terms of their field, in terms of their industry, having their marriages, and they have been divorced. So you see, this man is handsome, this man looks good, this man makes a lot of money, this man is respected in terms of the industry he works in, and then you have this beautiful wife, and they have beautiful kids, but they want a divorce. And these, they come out, because big shot people always come out to make a statement. They come, and when they explain why they're divorcing, it sounds like it's not more like something went wrong. It's almost like nothing actually went on. So nothing was happening. You see, because nothing was happening, so at the end, both of them felt like, well, if we're in a marriage and nothing is happening, why then do we should even continue the marriage? So both of them will look for people who something will go on. The rich man, of course, will always go on to look for another wife. But the problem is that in looking for another wife, what he's gonna do is he's gonna cut some time off from his career because he's looking for a wife now. He's looking for a companion because it gets lonely. Because sometimes the idea of having a wife available at home makes a man comfortable. Not that he spends time with his wife. I mean, that he always thinks that if I ever need a companion, if I ever need a shoulder to cry on, if I ever need an outlet in terms of a human being, I can always go back to home to my wife. But the problem is that he never actually uses that. But as soon as the wife leaves, the security goes away because now he knows that he doesn't have anyone. So he goes out to look for another wife. And in this time, because he's looking for another wife, he prioritizes that for a while until the woman agrees to be his wife. And then when the woman agrees to be his wife, he goes back to work. This is why it happens that, you know, a man will marry, for sometimes they're happy, and he goes back to his career. And then from there, after that, what he does is that he focuses on his career, and then they divorce, and then he does the same thing. He looks for another wife, dedicate that 3 months, 6 time, I mean 6 months time in spending and making the the possible wife happy. Then they marry, and then that 1 year and 6 months, he dedicates a little bit of time to the wife. But after that, he does the same thing. He goes back to what he was doing, which is going back to spend time, making money and make himself a big shot or a captain of industry in what he does. And at the end, he ends up in a divorce again. So he's a great man in terms of achieving the things that are achieved, but he fails because he fails his wife and he fails his kids. And because the kids now are in a divorce situation, they have to learn, if maybe there's another man in their mother's life, to learn to love another man. And sometimes, things can get patient because, a man may not be as loving to another man's children, especially children who have a rich father who they can get anything from. They may not respond well to a husband who maybe is different in terms of saying, I want things to be done differently in his household. So that is all that I have to say about this topic. Why a careerist husband will be a terrible husband. And then if you have anything to say about this topic, you can just leave your comment below. And if you love to receive content like this, you can, subscribe to my channel so you can receive content like this. Thank you for listening.